Hey, Brenton, thank you for joining us. I think today we're going to talk about the neonatalist movement. Now, this has been getting a lot of attention online. A lot of folks are following them. A lot of folks don't know what we're talking about. So tell me, what is the neonatalist movement?
So this is a movement that started a number of years ago, and it's really become popular because of individuals like Elon Musk and J.D. Vance have really kind of taken it a hold and put it into the ears of Donald Trump, and it's really become something that this organization and the Trump presidency has really kind of taken a hold to. And the idea is that any developing nation, for many years, their population has been declining. And so in order to prevent these populations from declining even further, and in order to make them even greater, the idea behind the pronatalist movement is that they need to have as many children as possible. And so they promote, however you can, just the creation of baby after baby after baby. And the idea is that this will solve the problems of many nations, including those that are the top nations in the world, that are the ones that are supposed to be leading us into the 21st century and beyond.
So let's unpack that for a little bit. I mean, we can look at the statistics. Japan, famously, for many years, has had a abysmal birth rate. They're not coming close to replacing their population. South Korea, America. Some folks, microplastics lead to infertility. Some of the drugs we consume lead to infertility. I know anecdotally, a lot of folks struggle with fertility that want to have children. They're not talking to those people. They're not talking to you and I. They're just encouraging people to make babies. That's ultimately what the movement is. And my understanding is it really ranges in ideological standpoints. I mean, you've got everything from actual outright neo-Nazis to people who have some leftist views, but fairly odd views generally.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's absolutely right. We've had conversations outside of this show about this. And very interesting movement is that some of the people that are figureheads of it, they believe in LGBTQ rights, they believe in science and statistics, and then you have people that are neo-Nazis that only want people that are of white and pure blood to be the ones who are procreating, to even individuals that don't believe in science but say that this is all faith-oriented, and that it's because it's what the Bible calls for and talks for recreation and bringing about a Christian nation, and that's the best way to do it is by procreating individuals. So it really does have a wide gambit of individuals that are interested in this subject. And the problem is that when it gets to the government level and they start trying to regulate it, you really fall into some issues.
Well, and certainly, we've seen everything from the trad wives, that movement has become very popular on social media, which is that women are supposed to be at home in the more traditional role. And obviously, a lot of women find this offensive and don't want to do this. They don't want to be baby factories, as it were. Ultimately, I mean, doesn't it come down to an issue of money? I mean, it's very expensive to raise a child in these developed countries. Some of the low end is like $300,000 over the course just to get you to 18. And of course, with housing prices being what they are, a lot of folks are living with their mom and dad into their 20s, into their 30s. How do these people plan to afford having all these children?
Well, quite simply, they say that it's not that expensive because you don't have to provide the children much, right? They say that you need to just get rid of excess spending, which are things like vacations or too many toys, or even in some cases, like some of the figureheads, heat during the wintertime. They say just get coats, right? Have the children put them on. And so to them, they point to a lot of these nations that do not have high GDP ratios, that are not very rich, but they say, look, they're able to produce a lot of babies, which shows that you don't need a lot of money to do so.
When, of course, the environmentalists say, there's an overpopulation anyway, right? We're consuming too much, there's too many of us, and so retraction is good. These people fall on the opposite side. But the reason we want to talk about it today, these people are in the executive's ear, and they're helping drive some policy decisions. I mean, Trump has famously said he wants to have a baby boom under his administration. He's toyed with the idea of like a $5,000 tax credit. Is that legal? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the government can incentivize things, and you have it all the time, and mostly it's through taxes. And what they'll try to do is they'll allow for tax write-offs or for tax exemptions for things that they really care about. And the law says that they're able to do this as long as it doesn't go into a coercive measure. Now, what exactly that standard is, it happens on a case-to-case basis, but the idea is that the government can't force you to do something by being too much involved. And where that's come into play is really in cases where they've said, we're going to take away the taxes that fund a quarter of your Medicare, right? Or that give you back money for the health the benefits that the state uses to help its population. And so the thing is, in this situation, when you're talking about trying to incentivize everyone in the United States to have more children, the issue is, one, is that coercive? And two, is $5,000 even enough to be coercive? I don't know many people that really say $5,000 is really the difference between me of having a child and not. Childcare is expensive.
Well, childcare is expensive, and there doesn't seem to be any real plans to bring that cost down. Education's expensive, food's expensive, famously. Go to the grocery store. And if $5,000 is the difference between you having a kid and not having a kid, maybe you shouldn't be having a kid.
Well, it's certainly a huge factor. And really, especially for individuals that approve of this Trump organization, and I say organization because that's pretty much how it's run. It's like a business, right? I'm surprised that they really like it, because a lot of the reason why you wanted Trump was to get rid of big government so it wasn't so involved in one's life. But now, if you're having them go in and trying to say you should be having babies, then that's going to affect abortion rights, that's going to affect bodily autonomy rights, and these are all instances where the big government is coming into your household. So it's a big legal question, and it touches on a lot of different variations of the law.
Thank you for looking at this. We appreciate it. I think this is going to be interesting with the tech bros and the people in Trump's ear pushing this agenda.